What's up? I'm Hype. I play games, make games everywhere, and today we're talking about the top 5 mobile games that were inspired by game jams. I've participated in many game jams and still remember my first game jam many years ago. It was a Ludum Dare event, and to be honest, I didn't know how to code, design. I just kind of mainly watched, hung out, waited until the end, and then played all the games. If you've ever wanted to make games or participate in a game jam, at the end of this video, I'll show you how you can make games in a way you've never imagined. In a community, we're making games, and game jams happen all the time, sometimes even with cash money prizes. Have you participated in a game jam? What was your first jam like? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button if you like videos around mobile games. What is a game jam? A game jam is an exciting, time-sensitive wheelhouse of creativity, pressure, and innovative ideas where creators work solo or in a small team to craft a game within a tight time frame. This can be anything from 1 hour, 48 hours, days, or even many weeks. Every game jam has a unique theme that is announced at the very beginning, which kickstarts the event. A theme is a word or phrase that serves as a starting point for creators and helps showcase wildly different interpretations of the theme amongst multiple different games. With the deadline, everyone has the same amount of time to create something fun. Personally, I find a lot of creativity and spontaneity happens at the very end of the deadline as there is a rush to finish the game. Fun fact, the word jam from game jam comes from the music industry, where a jam session describes a musical act of producing music with no prior preparation in an effort to develop new material or simply practicing to play. The best example of this is jazz music. Top 5 mobile games inspired by game jams in no particular order. Number 1, we got Mini Metro by Dinosaur Polo Club. It's a minimalist strategy game where players design and manage subway system in growing cities and is challenged to connect the stations using limited resources and adapt to changing demands, all while optimizing the transportation network and prevent overcrowding while maintaining efficiency. The beauty in this game is how everything looks so clean, simple shapes and concepts leading to hours of fun. Mini Metro comes from a Ludum Dare event, a game jam that takes place over 72 hours, and this particular theme was minimalism. Ludum Dare is the longest running game jam. They have been going on for over 20 years. Fancy looking objects take forever to make, when a cute cube and a circle lets you focus more on the strategy, concepts which this game excels in. Dinosaur Polo Club has also released a similar but different game called Mini Motorways, where you connect roads to colored houses, buildings, and I spoke to someone at the game studio last week and they said they may or may not be working on a third similar type of minimalist strategy game. Number 2 on this list is Downwell by Ujito Fumoto. Downwell is a fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping platformer and shooter. Players descend down a well while eliminating enemies and avoiding obstacles using gun boots. The game features procedurally generated levels and encourages players to maintain momentum and chain combos for high score. Now, Ujito Fumoto didn't participate in a game jam directly, but instead read an article by Rami Ismail titled Game a Week, Getting Experience at Failure. This is a great article for anyone new or experienced in game development. Ujito went from studying to be an opera singer and started making a new game each week until he found something that had high potential and developed that game more. One quote I like from this article is, regardless of what you want to make, going through the full development cycle frequently will make you better at making games. Game number 3 on this list, Super Hexagon by Terry Kavanagh. This is an intense action game that challenges players' reflexes and spatial awareness. Players control a small triangle located at the center of the screen. The screen is surrounded by rotating hexagons composed of walls that come hurtling toward the center. The objective is simple yet incredibly challenging. Avoid colliding with the walls for as long as possible. The twist lies in the fact that the hexagon is constantly rotating and is changing configurations, making it increasingly difficult to predict the trajectory of the walls as the players progress through the speed ramps, and the pattern becomes more intricate and complex. The game's visual and audio design enhances the sense of urgency and intensity, creating a hypnotic, immersive experience. The original prototype for this game was called Hexagon, and it was created during a Pirate Cart 5 jam that took place over 2 days, where creators were instructed to try and make a game in 2 hours or less. Official guidelines were, if the rules are getting in the way of you making a game, disregard them. Cheating is encouraged. This jam definitely focused more on following the fun than following the rules. Simple designs and shapes with challenging strategy wins the day again. Number 4 on this list, one of my favorites, Donut Country by Ben Esposito. This is a physics-based puzzle game where players take control of a hole that gobbles up buildings and objects. The goal is to solve puzzles by strategically manipulating the hole's size and position to interact with the environment and progress throughout the narrative. Amazing storyline. This is a visually, beautifully looking game with a fun, whimsical story that keeps you engaged. The 48-hour game jam that inspired this game is probably the most fascinating story on this list, because this game jam was based on the insane ramblings of Peter Molyneux's Twitter account, which is a parody of an actual game developer, Peter Molyneux, who apparently is famous for his audacious, ridiculous ideas. All the participants in this game jam had to pick tweets from the account and make a game. Here's some examples. Imagine a murder mystery game where you can interrogate any pixel in the game and ask it a question. Imagine a game where you finally defeat the end boss, but they refuse to accept it. To get to the end credits, you have to convince them that you won. That's kind of funny. Imagine a game that is initially unplayable. The game is about figuring out and creating a set of tutorials to help the player make the game playable. That one's fascinating. The tweet that inspired Donut Country: you play a hole, you must move around an environment, making certain elements fall into correct targets at the right time. It's cool to think that a tweet inspired a game. Fun fact, while Donut Country was in development, Ben Esposito kept his audience informed of the development process through tweets and other social media memes, and Hole.io by Voodoo is known to have stolen, borrowed, got inspiration from this game to create a hugely successful game that made millions on the App Store and Play Store, Hole.io. Number 5 on this list, Baba Is You, created by Hempuli. Now this one is a new game for me, and while it came out a few years ago, I definitely plan to take some time in the coming weeks to play and beat this game. The puzzle game that challenges players to manipulate the rules of the game itself, to solve puzzles and progress through the levels. Sounds dope. In each level, the player controls a character named Baba and must reach a specific goal, such as a flag, to advance. Now, what sets Baba Is You apart is its core mechanic. Players can interact with the text-based rules that define the properties and behaviors of the objects and elements in the game, making it a bit meta and fun and challenging. This game is the winner of a Nordic Game Jam where the theme was Not There. And a cool fun fact is the creator Hempuli states that he wasn't even in the mood for making a new game when the jam started. And with the theme being Not There, he kept thinking about not as an operator in programming logic and decided to turn that into a game where the logic is part of the game world. And towards the end of the game jam, he was worried he wouldn't be able to finish all the logic systems, but surprise, surprise, that didn't happen. And he went on to win the Nordic Jam. The Nordic Jam has been going on since 2006. Nowadays, there are many different ways to make and play games. If I told you I make games using my iPad and my iPhone, you probably wouldn't believe me. I mean, I wouldn't believe me, and yet it's something I do all the time, as there is an app in early development called hypehype. The app is in beta and is currently in development, with improvements coming out every day. Now, there are some bugs in it, but there's also multiplayer gameplay and, coming soon, multiplayer development, which is mind-blowing. The ability to make and play games with your friends, why not? Anything's possible. It's available for Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, but you do need an email address to sign up. If you'd like to get more information, go to the website, fill out the form, and tell them Hypesy sent you. The approval process is processed by a human, so it takes a couple of days. Check your email and then download the link. Making games on this app can be as easy as pressing a button. Like, literally, there's a button that does that. Check out some of my other videos or playlists for more information. I'll finish this video with a quote from Rami Ismail from the article Game a Week, Getting Experience at Failure. If you want to be a game developer, start making a lot of games. Make awful games, make games that disappoint you, make games that make you doubt your ability. Clone games that you like within a week and even fail at that. There's one difference between people that want to make games and game developers. It has nothing to do with failure, success, good games, or bad games. The only difference is that game developers are making games. All right, until next time, I'm Hypesy. Stay safe out there, and peace. Wildly different, wildly